Chapter 6. Day 6, or is it day 10? Day 6, or was it day 10, and I was rooted. Every muscle in my body ached, it hurt to even lie in bed. A human body was not built to withstand drill, PT, weapons lessons, marching everywhere uphill and yelling "Wah to free wah" while suffering the effects of army medical experimentations. We had so many needles I lost count. I had swollen glands under my armpits from the smallpox injections. I had a cough that threatened to drown me in phlegm if my lungs survived being turned inside out each time I coughed. And they also fed us bromide. Bromide? The bastards put bromide in the food. Someone said they put it in the milk. I'm gonna stop drinking the stuff. I haven't had a fat since I've been here. Hey, I noticed that my urine is dark and it has a pungent odor. Does bromide make your piss stink? No matter how sick we were, none of us went to the RAP, Regimental Aid Post. The reason was quite simple. The NCOs had discouraged us from doing that by implicating that they were all a bunch of idiots down there. They'd give us an aspro and tell us to stop wimping out and get back to our platoon. In addition, if we were sick and needed a break for a couple of days, then we could not train with our platoon. That meant being backsquatted to another platoon, and we would not graduate with 22 platoon but with some other bunch of geezers sometime later. Worse still, we could end up in a regular platoon. Heaven forbid. Enter the professor. The professor was my other schoolmate, Ian. He worked out that by making a hot drink out of cold tablets, and drinking it before you went to bed, you felt much better in the morning, particularly if you slept with extra blankets. His theory was that you sweated the cold out. It seemed to work, except for the guy who collapsed with pleurisy and ended up in hospital. He was back a couple of days later. He was skiting that he got a root while he was at the hospital. Yeah, he got a root at the hospital alright. His ass is still sore. He wasn't backsquatted at all because he didn't miss any crucial training sessions. We did lose one bloke. He took off. He said he had had enough shit. Maybe we all should have left with him. He was back the next day. He hitched a ride quite easily, he said, and ended up at Albury when he realized that he could end up in jail for not meeting his national service commitment, so he came back. I think they charged him and docked him a couple of days' pay. Lectures after lunch were the worst. Getting up at 5:30 a.m. and continually on the go until after lunch, we found ourselves in a nice warm lecture room with full stomachs and a comfy chair to laze in. It wasn't long before we were all starting to doze off. This must be where the term, dozy digger, came from. Only the coughing kept us awake, along with some threatening remarks from the instructors that our bodies would meet some irreparable damage if we didn't switch on. We got threatened a lot by the NCOs when we didn't do what they said or to their required standard. Being on the receiving end of continuous yelling really messes with your brain. I saw it as a contest. I didn't let them get to me, especially during drill lessons. "Do you like me, recruit?" said the big burly corporal with a megaphone for a mouth. He was inches away from my face and the blast of air from his esophagus straightened my eyebrows. My mind was racing. If I say no, I'll be in deep shit. "Yes, corporal." "Oh, you like me, do you, recruit? Maybe you want to fuck me? Do you want to fuck me, recruit?" "No, corporal." "Well then, don't look at me, lad. Keep your fucking eyes to the front. If I see the smallest flicker from your eyes, I'll break your bloody arm off, shove it through your ears and ride you round the parade ground like a fucking motorbike. Is that clear?" Panic started to set in. I couldn't laugh and I couldn't even show the slightest smirk at his joke. I had to keep a poker face and stare to the front. "Yes, corporal, I think I passed the test." I didn't look at him anymore and he didn't straighten my eyebrows again. The army was teaching me to be observant. I noticed, for example, that when you want to holler at someone you need to open your mouth really wide. You can only drop your jaw down so far, so you have to tilt your head back. This really opens the mouth up nice and wide and deep. When the drill instructor has his face in your breath zone, you don't look at him. You stare into the distance so that his face is out of focus. If you focus on his face, all you see is that little pink thingy hanging from the back of his throat. It vibrates when he hollers. You can visually check his sinuses through his nostrils at the same time. It was a good thing he couldn't read my thoughts. Actually, despite the aches and pain, I thought I was starting to dig the soldier gig thing.